Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omolihai, and if you are new here, thank you for stopping by. On this channel I film about my health, marriage and lifestyle. And to my returning subscriber, welcome to our YouTube channel. And thank you guys for the support. Today's video is going to be one of those story time video, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys my journey to motherhood. Guys, this story that I'm about to tell you, first of all, I would like you to grab your popcorn and your tissue, because this story is going to be a funny slash emotional story. So I'm going to tell it all, the gain, the pain, the loss, everything, and how it's affected my health. I'm going to share with you guys everything that happened between getting married and starting my journey to be a mother. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere. So me and my husband got married August 2015, and when we were planning to get married, actually when my husband proposed marriage, I was like, are you okay? Like, we just finished school, we are rounding up our NYSC, we don't even have a job yet, and you are telling me let's get married? Like, how do you expect us to survive? So that was my concern then, but he insisted. He really want us to get married. And okay, I was like, oh, you can talk to my parents. And he did, and to my surprise, my parents were in support. So since my parents were in support, and they were like, and my husband also, it's not as if he does not have a job that he's doing. It's just that at that time I had no job and my husband had no monthly income. So what I mean by monthly income is, maybe you are probably working for someone, or you have or you are working for yourself, or a business that brings in monthly income for you. We don't have that. So what he was doing was just hustling, you know, how young guys hustle, do this, do that, different kind of businesses all around. So that was what he was doing, that he was using to sustain himself. And it was promising, like making me understand that what he's doing is okay for the two of us for now, that, and he's going to continue searching for a monthly income job, so that when we start having kids, we will be able to take care of them. And I'm also planning to look for a job when I'm done with NYSC. So it's not as if I just want to be married and be jobless. My dad also is trying to help us get a job. He's trying to reach out to his connects and all of that, to his contacts, to see if there's any available job or so. So that is that about us getting married without job. You know, I was surprised when my parents accepted, because I felt like they should be the ones to discourage him, to be like, oh, you guys should take a chill pill, get a job first, then we can start thinking of getting married. But my parents said, oh, it's fine, since the two of you are ready to go, there's no problem, we give you our 100% support. And yes, they did. My parents supported us 100%. My dad kept giving me pocket money after we got married, and my mom also, every month she bring food stuff to our place, so they did not leave us. So my parents supported our decision, and they also stood by us. So it's not as if maybe they did, maybe it is you people that want to marry, go and marry. No, they didn't do that. They stood by us. Yeah. And I remembered when when we got married, and me and my husband were saying it jokingly, oh, we are going to wait like a year or two before we start trying for kids, blah blah blah. Unknowingly to us, the angel that distributes children already dash us one. I'm sure the angel will be looking at us like, look at this clown, what are they saying? Like, I took in first month of marriage, and the way it all played out, I was like, okay, I got married, went to my husband's house and all of that. So we got married August, and the following month I was now telling my husband like, babe, the sanitary towel I brought to this house, I have not used it. And he was like, let's go and do test. Excuse me? Is that how they do test? He was like, yeah, that probably maybe your period is not coming and all of that. Let's go and check maybe your period. I was like, don't bring that one, it's too early. Have you forgotten our plan? He insisted that we go for a test, and we did. And it was positive. I was pregnant. And a part of me was happy, and a part of me was worried, because we still don't have a job. We just got married less than a month. I don't have a job. My husband also does not have a stable income. He's just also go out and do business, do this, do that. So I was worried that how are we going to take care of this child? How are we going to cope? So we broke the news to my parents, and my mom was happy, our mom. She was happy over the moon. Oh, our first grandchild is coming, all of that. And when she told my dad, my dad said, they are married and they should know what will happen if married couple do what they're supposed to do. So yeah, and that was it. And that was how my journey started to being a mother. So now, I was still in my first trimester. Then my first crisis happened. So this crisis is going to be my first crisis as a married woman, staying with my husband, married and all of that. And coupled with the fact that I was pregnant and it's still in the early stage. So there was a mixed feeling. Maybe it was the pregnancy sickness, or it was sickle cell coming in. But what made me realize that this is really sickle cell knocking me down is because of the way the crisis came. It was nothing like morning sickness. There was no vomiting, there was no food aversion and all of that. It was serious body pain, serious body. The whole of my body was aching me badly. My bone was paining me, my muscle, everywhere I was in so much pain. And the only thing I kept telling my husband was, take me to my parents, take me to my parents. I just kept saying, take me to my parents' house, take me to my parents' house. And that was what my husband did. He put me in the car and drove me to my parents' house, because we're actually not living our place was not that far to my parents' place. So he put me in the car and drove me there. We got there that morning. My dad was getting ready to go to work, and my mom also. And immediately they saw me, they were like, oh my God, what happened? And oh, this is body pain and all of that. My sickness has started. Oh, and the way I was like, what have you used? My mom was asking me, okay, what have you taken? What medication have you taken? I've taken this, I've taken that, and there's no improvement. I'm in pain. I'm in so much pain, this and that. And my dad was like, okay, just take her to the hospital. We just have to take her to the hospital, because we can't just be giving her any kind of medication because of her condition. So she has to see a doctor. So I was taken to the hospital. We let them know that, oh, okay, I'm pregnant and I'm in my first trimester, and so they'll be able to know the kind of medication to give. So I went to the hospital. I was taken care of, and to God be the glory, a few weeks later I was okay and went back home to my husband. And yeah, we started living life. Around November, then my dad started falling sick. So my mom just called me that day and told me, oh, your dad is not feeling fine, this and that. I was like, ah. My dad had really fall sick. What could be the problem? And she was like, oh, he has gone to the hospital. They asked him to do scan, this and that. They think he had ulcer. And I was like, oh, okay. So that was what we thought. That was what we thought my dad had, ulcer. And we started from November. Okay, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And he actually retired from work. He actually retired from work in, was it October? I think October or November, he actually retired from work. He was working with Lagos State government. So a few weeks after his retirement, that was when the sickness came in, and it started like play. So first it was getting treatments at home, but when there was no improvement, so he had to go to the hospital. And when he got to the hospital, series of tests was done. They had to admit him, and his condition kept getting worse. Like, there was no improvement. If you think there's an improvement today, or he's responding to treatment today, the next hour everything will just change. His condition will just deteriorate. And the doctors, they couldn't pinpoint what exactly was wrong with him. At one point they said it was ulcer. Later they said he probably had hepatitis B. Like, it was just so confusing. And throughout this period, I was pregnant. I actually needed my mom's care, like, like, this is my first pregnancy. I need her around me at all time, all of that. But she wasn't there, because she can't divide herself into two. She had to be with my dad. And because I was pregnant, I couldn't go to the hospital often. So it was my husband playing that role for me. He was the one going to the hospital every day. I had to leave my house. I had to leave my home. So I went to my parents' place to stay, so that I can help them take care of the house while they were in the hospital. And my husband is the one going and coming. So he was admitted at Last Suits Ikeja. So my husband goes there every day. So I was there at home, nursing my pregnancy, all alone, and hoping my dad would get better and everything would just be okay, because there was a lot of expectation. He was supposed to be appointed as an SA at that time. So everything happening was just, and we were already thinking, oh, when he get that position, it will be more easier for us to get a job, and all of that. So a lot of people, not just the family, a lot of people are counting on him as assuming that position as the SA to the Lagos State government. So now this sickness coming in at that important stage of his life, because my dad is a workaholic. Like, when he was still sick, when this sickness started, and he was still getting treatment at home. My dad is still attending to work, despite the fact that he is retired. He didn't stop working, he was still working. So that is how should I put it? That is how devoted he is to his work, to his job. So now that he's going to get a huge reward, like, because that position is like a reward for all of his hard work over the years. Now he's laying down there on the hospital bed, and there was no hope. It was just there, getting worse by the day. At a point, he was discharged. They felt like, oh, he's getting better. So then when he was discharged, it was discharged based on hepatitis B, that was what is wrong with him. So that was what they were treating him for. They said he has hepatitis B. So that was what they were treating him for, because he has all the symptoms of yellow fever, yellow skin. In fact, I really can't be explaining how emotionally draining that period was, and considering the fact that I was pregnant. So I was due in April. And everything was going on, weeks, day by day, weeks are passing, months are going by. My dad is still very sick. He's not recovering. And when they discharged him based on the fact that, oh, he had hepatitis B, they've treated him to a stage, he's getting better, okay, he can continue his treatment at home. And he came home with all the warnings of, oh, don't eat that, don't do this, and all of that. A few days later, his condition changed and became worse. We had to rush him back to the hospital. And that was it. Yeah, he left home that day and never came back. So he went back to the hospital, he was admitted and all of that. And I wasn't allowed at the hospital very often as I would like to visit. I wasn't allowed to visit because they were all like, oh, your condition, you're showing this, you're that, stay at home, be resting, be doing this. So I didn't see him much because I wasn't allowed at the hospital because of my condition. So I go there maybe just once in a while. And my mom cannot even come home because she has to be there. She's there with him 24/7. Thank you guys for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, press the notification button so you know when I drop the part 2 of this video. Bye.